Hi, my name is John. You're watching the Olive Drab Alliance. Thank you very much for clicking on the video. Today we're in beautiful Morrison, Illinois at the state park. We're out in the campground. We've got the entire campground to ourselves because it's January 28th. However, it is 45 degrees outside, so we got a nice warm January day here in northwestern Illinois, and we're going to be doing a little bit of mess kit cooking. Today I'm going to make a cornbread quiche. I'm going to bake it in the mess kit. That's right, bake in a mess kit. Now, you may have seen baking done before in a mess kit, where they kind of lay the mess kit on its side and they put the baking tray inside and then they bake like that, but we're not going to be doing that because with that you get direct heat, and direct heat from a fire or a stove can burn things. Today we're going to be using steam. We're going to bake the quiche in steam. If you're confused, that means you need to stick around. If you're intrigued, that also means you need to stick around. Should be a good video. Stick around. So what I've got here is our pre-made cornbread mix. Made this up before coming out here. I'll show you what's in here in this little clip. For our cornbread mix, we're going to start with about half a cup of flour. Next, about half a cup of cornmeal. Then we're going to do about 2 tablespoons of instant non-fat dry milk. About a teaspoon of salt. Just a pinch of baking powder. And go easy on this stuff, but about a teaspoon of whole egg powder. We'll jazz it up with a few shakes of garlic powder. Make sure we mix it well. I'm going to slowly add small amounts of water. You definitely don't want to add too much. And once you've added it, you can't take it out. So go slow here. Add just a little bit at a time. Okay, so I think I got it about where we want it. Just like a cake batter or pancake batter. You could even use pancake batter if you wanted. So, but we're not, because we're making cornbread. Oh, I am going to cheat a little bit out here in the woods. I'm going to use a little pan spray. What the hell do you call this? Non-stick cooking spray, right? Yeah. So I'm going to cheat just a little bit out here in the woods. I'm going to use some non-stick cooking spray, but you could use butter, bacon fat, Spam fat, whatever, to grease your pan. This pan is part of a 3-piece mess kit. And in general, it's usually pretty worthless. I mean, what do you do with this thing, right? Today we're going to use it to bake in. We're going to put just an inch of water or so at the bottom here. Enough to create steam to heat all around what we're trying to bake, but not enough to create so much steam that it pops the top off. So we just want a little bit of water at the bottom, and that steam is going to evenly heat whatever we want to bake in here as it sits up at the top covered with a lid. Voila, steam baking. So we got our non-stick cooking spray. We're just gonna, just a little bit, not too much, because with breads, cakes, things like that, it can stick. If you don't want to use cooking spray, you could use bacon grease, butter, what have you. It's really windy. We've got our Coleman 502 all fired up, ready to rock. You could use a campfire, you could use whatever, but today we're using the great Coleman 502. And like I said, we're just going to put about 3/4 of an inch to an inch deep of water at the bottom of our mess kit here. We want just enough steam to heat everything up, but not enough to blow the top. So after a few minutes of getting everything preheated, we're going to add the batter. It pretty much levels itself out, but sometimes you gotta give it a little help. We just want to cover the bottom of that pan as evenly as possible. Right, while our cornbread has a little bit of a head start, we're gonna whip up 2 eggs. I'm just gonna use the same bowl that I had the batter in. It's not gonna hurt anything. I hope. If you're enjoying the video so far, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. You know, we're really lucky to have a beautiful day like today in late January. Normally it's 10 below zero with 2 feet of snow on the ground up here. I'm also thankful my beautiful wife came along. She's just reading a book. She likes being in the videos sometimes. You know, she told me once she wanted to be an influencer.
No, I didn't.
But today, instead of being an influencer, she's got influenza. She's got influencer A.
A+.
But let's go see what she's reading. Come on.
Well, I've been a little under the weather. So, ginger ale's been my best friend. It's good for the upset stomach. And Jameson, just because it makes things also better when you're sick. A little bit of both. I found this great book, An Illinois Boyhood, which is a story about a family started in the early 1900s. The Green River isn't far from us, and that's where this story takes place. It's a nonfiction. It takes place between 1910 and 1925, and it talks about all the history of a family that worked hard, started a farm. I find it interesting because growing up, I don't think I ever had an interest in doing any kind of farming or raising chickens or anything of the sort. I had a lot of different ideas in life. And then I matured a little bit, got older. So actually this book it's a really neat book. But it talks about how the family started, I believe, 180 acres down by Hoople, which isn't far from us. And the Green River talks about the significance of it and what they did, how they started their farm. And right now I'm in the part where it talks about how the family took part in all of the daily chores when it came to raising horses, cows, chickens, all of that, how they maintained them. There's things that you think your farm and your house and all that can be, but when you kind of start looking past all the happy photos of everybody with their cute chickens and their cute horses, and you know, there are consequences and things like that. So this book was kind of an eye-opener for me.
So whether you're using a Coleman oven to bake or a mess kit, it seems like a lot of times things end up getting burnt, and it's frustrating. But you know what burns? The crust burns. Nothing else will burn. So if there's no crust to whatever you're baking, it's not going to burn. And the steam will keep everything moist enough to the point where it won't develop that crust to burn. It's just going to come out moist and fluffy and delicious, hopefully. But yeah, baking with steam. You can look, maybe some of you fancier types out there already have a steam oven for your home, but there's steam ovens you can put in your home. I'm definitely interested in one. If any of you companies that make or manufacture them, reach out to the Olive Drive Alliance. Yeah, right. So the idea behind the steam baking is that normally if you just bake with the hot air, whatever you're baking is going to develop a crust. And that's what burns, is the crust. So if you don't develop that crust, you can eliminate the burning. And with all that humidity and steam going on in there, it's not really going to develop a crust that can burn. So we get a nice even temperature throughout the pan, throughout the mess kit. You get it steamy and humid in there, so it stays moist, it doesn't dry out. And I'm hoping this turns out well today. I've already done a practice run with this and it turned out great, but we'll see how it does today. But stick around to the end. I'll show you how it turns out. I'll slice it open so you can see what it looks like inside. I'll stick a knife in there and see what's going on when you turn it. Commando. Anyway, stick around. So we only steamed off about half of the water. Look at that. Still plenty of water in there. Okay. It's hot. Oh, it almost all came out.
But it's not burnt.
Nope, not burnt. We almost got it all out in one piece. We were close. That's okay. No, no good.
It's really bad. I think I'll just save it for myself.
What?
Yeah.
You tricked me. I shouldn't eat any of it?
You wouldn't like it. But we don't want it to go to waste. Hand me some more of that sauce.
The Melinda's
The
sriracha.
Melinda's sriracha.
The Melinda sriracha that we got for what, 25 cents or $1 at Walmart?
25 cents. They got all the different, I guess, shooter sauces. That's a lot. Alright, I'll share. Let me get another bite though. I think the eggs and the Spam just cooked evenly, and the eggs are really fluffy, so I could just eat it all.
I'm getting a little bit of everything. Eggs, the cheese, Spam, and the cornbread.
The cornbread's moist.
It is.
When we did the Thanksgiving special, the cornbread, like, I mean, it was a little bit dry, I think.
It was dry.
It was evenly cooked, but I think using the water was way more successful. It kept a lot of moisture in the whole meal.
Steam. It is really good. And probably enough for two. You'd have to be pretty hungry to eat this whole thing. But I'm pretty hungry.